Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It's great to have you here. We are a bit stressed, but I still hope you're going to love our authentic stories from the battlefields we share with our clients on a daily basis. At first, we didn't want to make an intro to the presentation, but we decided that it might be a little bit easier to digest if we share a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, and Basia and Kasia.
So squad.
Yeah, it sounds like a joke, but it isn't. Yeah, and before we proceed, I wanted to share also a story that we talked about yesterday. We were sightseeing around Krakow a little bit, and Basia asked me, like, when was the last time you actually been to Krakow? And I was like, wait a second, I have to think for a moment. It's been some years back. And then I realized that it was the moment when I actually got fired from one of the jobs I had in the past. So
Finger crossed.
Yeah, I hope we're going to do a little bit better this time in Krakow. So that's the story. We work on a daily basis with clients on product. So we try to deliver research, design, and also the part of the delivery, namely the software part. And we struggle a lot, and I would say that even a little bit more than internal teams. Feel free to reach out to me later
And
discuss
disagree.
your fracas, stresses, and stories. And why? Because when you build products, you all know you fail a lot. You miss your way a lot. Sometimes you win, but it's all about trust. And if you are from the outer world, it's much more difficult to build this trust. And we think we found a way in doing so. That's why we want to share it. And it's basically based on honest recommendation for rule number 1. And the second is engagement. And I would say the third one, a lot of critical thinking, especially when you lose your way. And
But do not reveal all the treats here.
Yeah, sorry, Basia. So, Basia,
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Let me share a story with you. Imagine yourself in the midst of a project, building a custom app. The stakeholders are highly innovative women who have taken the product from an unpaid blog to six-figure business. You've been diligently working on the complementary idea to the cohort course for the last 5
We
months.
said we fail a lot. This is like the epic presentation of this.
So it's not working. Okay, maybe manually. All right, for the last 5 months. And you have extremely active user base because your user base is consuming a content, creating a content, very active in terms of engagement, and also is creating real-life bonds outside the app. So it's really extremely, extremely active. User came here for the knowledge, but stay for the community. And the community is like heart of the whole product. Moreover, you have also very loyal user base because more than 80% users have extended the subscription at least 1 year. Oh wait, I haven't mentioned that the subscription costs between $200 and $1,200 a year. So that's kind of expensive. You believe in the product, You've built a common understanding with the stakeholders. You feel great chemistry with your stakeholders. Even the 8-hour-long time difference isn't so painful because they wake up like at 4 or 5 a.m. every day. So yeah, the motivation is insane. You went through all topics related to the business, scaling business up, to the product vision, extending the product vision, building it viable. So, a lot of work has been already done with the stakeholders, a lot of knowledge exchange, a lot of relationship building, and you feel like you are on fire. And moreover, you feel like you are at the same page. And in terms of, from the agency perspective, the deal is also great. A solid flat rate, 3 developers, 1 product manager, QA, SOW signed for the next 6 months. Yeah, so discovery phase, the initial discovery phase, has been already done using various methods. For example, concierge experiment. I don't know if you are familiar with concierge. It's like it means that you mimic the system or the part of the system manually to check if it's working, if it hits your targets, if it can be treated as validated positively and built in the real app. So concierge showed that there is perspective feature to be built, but also some other hypotheses were validating using IDI, surveys, desk research, analytics, and combining those methods to validate opportunities. So yeah, discovery showed that it's better to incorporate the feature in the current app rather than building standalone solutions. So you are aiming for adding 1 killer feature, at least 1 killer feature, into the existing app. That is the core business of your stakeholders. In order to do that, you have a workshop planned for 2 weeks in London. It's time to roll up your sleeves and start the delivery. So the workshop is basically for setting the plan for the delivery, polishing the roadmap, and polishing the backlog. It's all to, all forces are to be gathered in terms of the delivery. In the meantime, the team is formed and waiting for the delivery to come, fixing some minor bugs and getting rid of the spaghetti code. But when we button up the plan for the workshop, you see some changes in the client's behavior. You see them struggling when it comes to all the tech-related topics. You see that CEO is dissociating herself from all the tech-related initiatives, decisions, and moreover, some decisions that has already been done are discussed one more time. So you ask the key question. Do you see yourself as the tech company owners or content creators and thought leaders? And the answer changes everything. You try to be sure that the answer is taken consciously. So you deep dive into product viability one more time, you discuss tech stack, you discuss all the possibilities, technical possibilities that can be taken in this situation. But at the end, the decision is to terminate the cooperation, to initiate transition into the off-the-shelf platform, content platform, and to sunset the custom app. Have we lost the client? Yes, we did. Was it the best decision for the client's business? I believe so. Is it a loss or win for us? So I have bittersweet answer for that. Let's take the loss side at first. So the team, there was no project for the team. It means a bigger bench. It means a need for a product replacement, all in the middle last year global IT layoffs. So the situation wasn't very funny, I would say. It also means waste of resources. Some work was done and wasn't implemented, for example, mock-ups, for example, the strategy, all the project management work related to the delivery, kickoff, and so on. So yeah. And also, from my personal perspective, it was like some kind of personal loss. I believed in the product. I had strong connection with the stakeholders. I had expectations regarding building great product that serves need of important user group. Yeah, you may say business is business. Maybe for you, not for me. For me, doing products, building products means also fun, engagement, expectations, but also a loss when some shitty things happen. Okay, so that was the loss side. Let's move to the win side. The stakeholders refer us to another CEO, so we gathered a strong referral for the next project, and it was a grand opening of the new opportunity. They also gave us a strong and powerful testimonial and review on Clutch. And for me, it was so important to see in that testimonial that they are highlighting all the things that Kasia mentioned. So the tiles from the domino that can knock on the whole process, like engagement, like honesty, and so on. And to be honest, the testimonial also stroked my ego a little bit. We had tons of product learnings that we could discuss with future clients. We could learn from. We did a concierge experiment for the first time. And even today's talk is about learnings from that case. And last but not least, we were able to write an authentic article based on that story. Without any doubt, it was a powerful stress test of the mutual engagement of both sides and the part of avoiding bigger risk. Okay, that was the first story. It was intense, wasn't it? So let's park the story here and give Kasia to tell her story.
Thank you, Basia. Are you still there? Yeah. Okay, so it's a new story, and I just noticed we've got same learning. Not sure, but
No, I think not.
We'll see. Okay, it's a little bit different because it wasn't for us a new relationship. So we've been working with a given client for the past 5 years. There were multiple projects at a time, both web and mobile. And a strong business relations built, I guess, and also some successes on the way. There was quite a huge figure to fight for, because as you can imagine, with a company having such a yearly revenue, if you boost one of the metrics, the stakes are high. So we knew it's probably worth fighting for moving the metric, and we still saw a loophole. A loophole was a missing successful mobile product. We knew their competitors are doing well with such products. We knew we also are a little bit different, so we need to find our own niche. In the past, we've already tried 3 times with 3 mobile projects, all R&D, starting from scratch, not knowing a lot, apart from knowing business well and knowing how to turn a company into a successful one. We developed 3 apps, we launched 3 apps, but sadly, we promised you fuck-ups, so we're gonna deliver.
Here they are.
0 impact. Sad, painful, disappointing, and I can, find other words. Not good words. Not the words, adjectives you're looking for. So none of them was working for the business. So they were working as tools, yes? They were intuitive. They were somehow even matched with the business. However, they weren't moving the metrics at all. So having that in mind, they still want to try. So as I mentioned, there were some successes on the web projects. So there is this trust, and they want to give it another shot. And I received like a team request actually, like, Kasia, let's just combine a team once again. We've got this great idea. We're going to succeed now. We strongly believe that this is it. This is the moment we are able to move the metrics. But I know, there are those lessons learned. We know a lot, but I also see how much we still do not know, and I can't, unsee the 0 impact thing from the past. That's why I turn to the product manager. I was working on a project at the time, and we discuss. We've done some post-mortem meetings in the past. We are doing a pre-mortem now, and we are not sure whether we've got everything we need to move and to try to move this magic metric up. We want to collect, assess, and validate opportunities. So, and the plural is not accidental, because they come to us with one opportunity, and we refer their minds towards Teresa Torres' idea that let's just analyze again and look all of the opportunities we can see around their business. So we, in a sense, there is like a quick win we might get, just kick off the project. But what we do is not only assess this particular opportunity, but dive deeper and make them experiment with us around more than one thing at a time and choose the best one. We kick off this research phase. We do not have a team. There's me, there's the client, their business team, their product team, their design team, and one product owner from our side. After the initial research phase that we do, which slows us down, yes, they see that and they think they have this great opportunity in front of them just to grab and make use of. And what I'm doing, we are slowing down. I'm telling them to slow down. And once I did, the product manager comes to me and says, Kasia, we are slowing down again. So the experiment experiments, actually plural, we've done prove there is a chance we got it this time. However, they are not sure about the size of the, it was today also used, minimum lovable product that we have to do. We always target to mini MVPs, but for some different reasons, we feel like it should be a little bit bigger than usual to make sense. So what we do, we are running a no-code application for them. So I'm asking for another 1.5 months, because we needed around 3 weeks to build it and another 2-3 weeks to test it with users. We've got data, we've got insights based on the previous experiments, based on their business hunch, which is great, looking at the numbers of the revenue. And we've got everything we need to make this go, no-go decision. And this is the moment we both agree we've got enough proof to start. Now, it's been like few months since we actually started working on the MVP, and another, I think, around 2 months since the release. So I can share a little bit more insights, how we did, where it was a win or a loss. So when we started working on the launch, we agreed about a certain metric, and it was the 10-day retention. And we agreed that we have to hit 10%, which is not that small number. So after the first month, it was 12%, so a little bit higher than we expected. And now we are hitting the 17. So it's actually almost a double from what expected. And most importantly, our daily active users inside the application is growing and growing steadily. It means that it is in a sense a win because we finally have a working product, working for the metrics, and we can be sure that it's worth investing more. And we also know that it's worth investing in research. It is a win, yeah, but it's also some sort of a loss, because remember that I had to slow it down. So we weren't sure if they are right, if their intuition this time gonna work. So we slowed it down. So we could be potentially in the same place a little bit earlier, yes? But I think it would still be a different place, because there were those insights that we've learned and we also implemented. So that's the story, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm gonna sum it up. It's kind of obvious, kind of cliche to state that that product people's job is to reduce risks by validating hypotheses, opportunities, and so on. But validating business and product hypotheses may be actually painful for both the agency and the client. Because when some opportunity become invalid, we start to walk on a kind of shaky ground, and we need to find a balance again. We need to find a direction again. We need to find the opportunity or hypothesis again. And yeah, and that might be painful for both, for the stakeholders, for product managers. But we think that addressing this risk, by addressing them, you might actually grow the potential ahead of you. What types of risks we are talking about here? Take the first case as an example. In the first case, stakeholders struggled with providing both tech custom solution and high quality content they were known from. So we were risking a project, we were risking basically money, they were risking the whole business. And the second case, that Kasia was telling about, the risk was to create something with zero impact on business. So we could easily win the project, we could easily pump it up with our people. But with no impact, we could lose the trust, we were risking our reputation, and also the product, the business foundations. So by slowing it down, by scaling the team down, we actually win the time to proceed with thorough research and opportunity validation. And when metrics are all working finally, we won the sense, yeah, and the product, but we could easily lose it. And what we mean here is that there are plenty of struggles when developing a product. And it might be very stressful to do it. And there is a temptation to close your eyes and don't see these struggles. But by addressing them, you can grow your product. You can resolve the risk. You can highlight these risks to avoid bigger ones. And as product people, we have that power to zoom in, zoom out. It's kind of superpower to communicate things. But with great power comes great responsibility. So your responsibility is to address the things that bothers you, but also you have to remember that you don't have control over the whole process, because it's too many factors that are affecting them, like market, like stakeholders' decision, like money, like metrics. You do not have the full control, but you could at least control the part of the landscape. And be brave. And by being brave, we mean sometimes letting something go. We believe that by letting something go, you can actually enter the opening for the new adventure.
And I think that one of the most important things I wanted to pass on today is that you never know whether you are right, but sometimes you feel that it is the right product decision to take. It's sometimes very painful. It's sometimes very frustrating. So all of the bad emotions come in. And most importantly, they are often not sweet for the business. In our case, there are like 2 businesses to take care of, because we work for an agency that works for the clients. So it can be sweet for us, not sweet for them. It can be sweet for them, not sweet for us. It can be sweet for both, and it can be actually
bitter for both.
Yeah, and it can be very bitter, yes, very bitter for both, actually. So that's the thing. And still, what we wanted to pass on is that there are lots of like short-term wins that you may grab into, yes, on the path. And it's a rocky path. But I think it's still trust your gut, trust data, insights, don't be afraid of them. Look at them, confront them with yourself, with the team, with the client, and try to make the right product decisions, because they can work for something that lasts. And what I'm speaking of is like a sustainable impact that you can have a sustainable impact on your business, on someone else's business. And it's important to find those low-hanging fruit, yeah, but never focus on only on the short-term wins, yes? Why? Because it's about this relationship, about the trust, and about honesty, transparency. Because if you see someone struggling, or if you see, you know, there's something like bugging you or bugging a client, probably there's something wrong, yes, about it. So just check it, double check it, confront it again, discuss it, and never be afraid to do it, I guess. And a cliche, I know, but it's really the case with us and the stories we share with our clients. We presented only 2 today, but there's more. And we know for sure that sometimes failing is not a failure. We are always trying to follow these fail fast, learn fast thing, but with a twist. By twist, I mean, okay, there's a failure. We failed fast, but we try to implement as much critical thinking as possible in order to find whether that's not actually a grand opening to something else. It can be totally other project, other initiative, maybe not even within the setup we currently have, yes? There may be a strong learning we can implement for future, or maybe there's another product or another feature we can focus on, something like a killer feature, whatever there is. Like this failing on a way, I think is very natural in building products, and we should never be afraid to fail because it's an ever-shifting landscape when you're building digital products.
And you can always give a talk about this.
Yeah, you can always give a talk about it and share your fuck-ups. So, yeah, if you have any fuck-ups to share or any wins to share, or if you have any questions, we are here to answer them. We will also be definitely having some nice drinks afterwards at after parties, so don't be afraid to reach out.
And thank you very much.
And thank you very much for your attention. And that's it, I guess.
Thank you, girls. Very, very impressive presentation. Do we have any questions here? Please raise your hands. Don't be afraid. Failure.
Yeah.
Not
yeah, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Nobody wants to touch a fuck up. Like.
So maybe during the
no worries.
After party.
I have one question.
Okay.
Well, how to separate this feeling, how to deal with failure from this emotional side? Because it's hard. It's easy to say, don't be afraid of failure, but I think a lot of people feel it very personal, feel a lot of sad when they fail.
It's a kind of, personal loss. You feel like you lost something. So I think that accept coping with it like personally, and just allow yourself to feel lost, to feel regret, to feel even being some kind of lost. What we do in our company is rest in peace parties. Okay. So the whole team is celebrating the failure. We have like breakfasts or meeting
postmortem.
Yeah, postmortem.
This is how we call them.
That rest in peace party should be done after every failure. So
the second part of this question, because if we can fight our feelings, we also must talk to our partner, client, business, how they felt with our failure, how to talk with them.
I think what I can share is that what's most important, I don't know that we haven't used this word much in this presentation, but it's this honesty, transparency, authenticity, and that's the key, and people actually really appreciate it. So even if you've got bad news, you have to speak it aloud because there are things you can't unsee, just as we said. If there's care behind it, like a true care, like I really care, that's why I'm confronting you, that's why I'm, flagging that out, it's much appreciated. And the other thing, I often talk with clients a lot from the beginning, guys, we will most probably at some point fail just a little, just for a moment, or maybe we will fail totally, yes? We may fail with one of the features, we may fail with the target group that we will have to switch. And this is about this ever-shifting environment. So we are sort of expecting this, that it's gonna happen. We are not these happy, chappy people.
Yep.
So we are trying to find opportunity around this. Really, like, okay, we fail. This is the moment we fail a little bit on the way, like, but what's behind it? Like, what does it say about our approach, our strategy, the product we're building, the users we are targeting? So it's just, I think it's just a piece of knowledge.
It's knowledge, and it's also, to treat the failure as a non-thing, not to be a black box during the whole process, and to work with client as you would work with your team. So to make it transparent and well known, what are the options, what can we expect here. But when something really bad happens and it's our fault, it's also good to to look for the solution, to be like one step ahead of what happened. Yep.
Okay, do we have any other questions, maybe? Oh, there is one, two.
An easy one, please. Be kind.
Hi.
Hi.
What metrics do you use most often, and how do you pick those metrics? Or is it something that your client choose?
Do you want to take this, Basha?
Okay, it depends. In the first case, it really depends on the project and product, because you set the metrics according to your goals and things you want to validate and measure also, and you perceive as a key indicators for the business. In the first case, like the most important metrics was retention and engagement. But by engagement, we treated number of posts written and number of events that users are taking part in. In case of our key metrics for the business,
And in the other case, because it's very case specific, so it's a very good question. It's very case specific. In the other case, which was like the story I shared, there is no, surprisingly, because that's usually the difficult part, there is no issue with acquisition, with the adoption of the product in a company. So it's like they have a strong community of users. So you can easily, like, really, with a click, have like few K of users instantly. It's not a problem. The issue for them is how to make this app sticky, how to make them use it on a daily basis, because it's the only way it's worth for them fighting for. So that's why we had this 10-day retention thing, and that's why we were, actually we got another metric, because at first we started with the 10 retention metric, and they said like, oh, you're doing so great, so how about adding also daily active users thing? So we received another one, yes. So, but they were both around engagement. In their particular case, when we work on startup products, mostly it's about acquisition. Like acquisition and then referrals. So like whether it has an option and a potential to spread. Yes, so these are the things we look at.
Okay, we have time for one more question, I think.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Congrats on the presentation. It was
Thank you.
really cool and insightful. My question will be really short. Kasia, you mentioned that this business had 3 apps that had like 0 impact. Did they kill the apps, or are they still being maintained?
They took off 2 days ago. We had like a funeral because one of the stakeholders, Kasia, just telling you that we took it off the store. So one of them is taken off the store. One of them was built like 5 years ago and is still being used by the CEO. So that's why they're just keeping it there. But there is also one funny thing about one of the apps, because it seems like everything was right about it. It was just not the right moment.
It was too early.
It was too early. And they are currently investigating some other project I haven't mentioned today. And we know that some of the hypotheses we had in the past that failed are not failing anymore. It was just the bad timing. So there is also a revival of one of the apps with the 0 impact thing.